Raising conservation awareness through education, getting them when they're young. Powerful tool at our disposal. Classroom Africa's initiative focuses on improving educational outcomes for children based in communities within critical wildlife habitats. To achieve this, the organization has been building schools in some countries in Africa. African Wildlife Foundation and Classroom Africa's Senior Manager Tonkei Kesery joins us from Kenya with more details. A very good morning to you. Talk us through how it works.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to let me talk about Classroom Africa. So basically here at the African Wildlife Foundation, we seek to inspire conservation through support to education for children from the communities living within critical wildlife habitats across Africa. And essentially in line with the African Wildlife Foundation's 10-year strategic plan, Classroom Africa aims at inspiring, identifying and nurturing future leaders through provision of a quality education. So far we are supporting close to 7,000 children annually across 8 countries in Africa.
All right, this sort of impact that you are seeing, and I suppose it must be quite incredible when children really absorb the importance of their role when it comes to saving our future.
Indeed, tremendously, and essentially for us, I mean, children do matter a lot, and what we believe in is that a community's change in perception and attitude towards conservation is best achieved through children. I mean, children are the best change agents across the globe, and for us in the African Wildlife Foundation, and through the incredible and tremendous generosity from our donors, we have supported conservation education programs across 8 countries that I mentioned, and essentially what we envision is an Africa with inspired leaders on conservation. Again, for us, we believe that there's a direct correlation between illiteracy or lack of an education and wildlife crime or communities' participation in illegal wildlife trade. And for us in the African Wildlife Foundation, we believe that access to a quality education by the communities provides an alternative, sustainable livelihood solution to help fight this crime.
Tell us what is lacking at the moment, what hasn't been achieved up until now, and why this is only really happening now.
Well, obviously, for obvious reasons, where we do have the landscapes, where we do have wildlife across Africa, areas in which the communities that live in are most marginalized, communities in which children have the worst education indicators. So for us, this does matter right now, because we believe that if we're able to support education for these children, we're able to inspire future leaders, we're able to bring in a shift in the mindset towards conservation. And what is lacking right now is a push, obviously, across the globe. And what we are advocating for is the donor community, the international community, to be able to support conservation efforts. That includes conservation education programs that we have in AWF, anti-poaching efforts that we have, and so on and so forth. And working closely with our communities, our governments, would be very, very key for us to ensure that we achieve this.
It's very important, isn't it, bringing the community in? You say that so many of them have been marginalized for years, and especially when it comes to fighting off the poachers. You've got to give them an alternative and a buy-in.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah, and essentially, if you're able to have the ownership of these communities, to be able to change their sources of livelihoods that are not sustainable, that are not environmentally friendly, this is the way to go. And children are the best way to do this. If you're able to have them access an education, then what we are saying is that we will be able to have a lot of changes. For instance, we're having an impact story in Uganda, in Murchison landscape, where we have a girl that was not able to access an education, but through support from AWF and its donors, the girl who was to drop out of school, now at 17 years is in secondary school at the first level. And this is a person who is a champion in conservation. So we are seeing that in future, these are the people that rely on to ensure that the wildlife and our wildlands in Africa are protected.
And I mean, you see, as you're talking, we're looking at quite incredible pictures of the children studying, but also of what we have on this African continent. It really is something to be proud of, isn't it? Particularly at this time. I mean, this is something that can just generate, if we tackle it properly, it's something that can generate so many jobs, such a sustainable future for so many people.
Indeed, Jane, that's incredibly correct. The fact that this provides an alternative livelihood solution for the families and for the children basically changes a lot. And when you look at the videos that you're talking about, you can see the Kidepo school in Uganda that is being aired. You can see that is a place that school in a very remote place in Uganda. But you can see that the kids in the school are able to access world-class education just like other kids across Uganda and across the globe. And the fact that this is something, I mean, education is a dream to some people in such places, but making it a reality is such an incredible thing that we value in AWF.
And is having access to technology a challenge here? Is this something that needs to be addressed in order to keep this initiative going?
Definitely, and you've really mentioned a very, very important part of it. And I think for us in conservation education, we are saying that if you're able to bring in, the best way of doing things right now, I mean, in terms of technology, if you're able to even provide computers for these children, if you're able to provide internet access to these children, then we will also be looking at how best we can be able to share our experiences across the globe, how best we can be able to have the kids out their experiences and share it out with the rest of the kids across the globe, and how best we can be able also to learn from the rest of the children across the globe in terms of conservation and otherwise.
And tell us briefly, if you will, how I can get involved, how people can get involved if they support an initiative like this. What can they do?
In so many ways, with the little monies that we get, from around the globe, with the support from the donors that we have, we are able to do so much. Small contributions are able to do so much impact, and people can as well volunteer in the schools that we support. But I think what can be able to reach out more is see how we can be able to support quality education for the children in these landscapes, ensuring that we provide teaching and learning materials for them, ensuring that we provide clean drinking water for them through probably drilling of boreholes, ensuring that we're able to fence the schools to protect the kids from the wildlife, and so on and so forth. So it's really not much that is needed, but the little that comes along does a big impact.
Okay, very good to talk to you. A wonderful initiative. Thank you.